What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. Today we are doing top 5 ways to make money on Sorare, and this was actually a suggested video from the comment section of our last tips video. With that being said, if any of you guys have any specific videos that you would like me to make on the channel, then do let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Let's get into the first tip for today. So the first method for making money on Sorare is going to be injured players. Now, what do I mean by that? Of course, I have some examples for you guys, but you guys, like, generally speaking, without examples, you guys can sort of picture and imagine in your head, if a player gets injured or has a big injury announcement, then of course their prices are going to drop on the market. And then here's where you got to be very smart and sort of quick to buy into them, and then obviously as they come back from injury, then you'll be selling at quite a big profit. For example, obviously this is Eder Militao, quite a good example because he's quite a popular player. Therefore, when he gets injured, loads of people know about it. So you can see here, when this is around the time when he actually got injured, look, it's literally just a vertical drop because everyone wants to sell him, because he's going to have pretty much no utility for the year. So my advice, I think, and for those of you guys that don't know, he is just about to come back from injury, sort of thing. So this is like slightly, as you can see, sort of on the way up in the last couple of months. But if you manage to buy him at this, maybe you don't even buy it on the exact day of announcement, but maybe after a couple of months when people are forgetting about him, you can buy him. Look, these prices definitely go down as low as maybe £1, even £2. You can see this one all the way down here, easily going to be about £1. If you picked up 5 or 6 Militaos at £1 or £2, you'd be easily making £4 to £5 now, which again, this is sort of a lot of the things in Sorare. It's like small profit margins, but they equal a lot if you do them a lot, if that makes sense. So for example, if you buy like 10 Militaos, the profit margin of like £5 is going to be amplified, if that makes sense. And then a couple of other examples I got for you is Lissandro Martinez. Again, he's sort of been on and off this season, but again, if you buy him when no one else is buying him at these super low prices at like £1 or whatever it is, then when he does come back, you can see him selling up here at like £4 to £5. Lozano is a bit of a more of a now example because obviously you can see this is sort of, I guess, in the hype of the season starting with San Diego. Obviously quite a popular player. You can see he's being sold at like £20, £30, £40 in some instances. And then yeah, right now, or I guess during his injury and that, you can see it came down to as low as £10, maybe even 8 or 7 if you're lucky. And this, you probably look on the market now, Lozano's probably, he's probably going to be like 8 or 9 quid. So yeah, if you manage, or maybe 10 quid when he fully come back, fully starts again. Obviously he's came off the bench in the last game, so his price should start to go back up. And this is sort of a real life example. You can literally go and check that now on Sorare to see what Lozano's price is doing. But it would be a good example to sort of see, okay, I could have picked up Lozano for £5 or £6. How much is he now? How much would that have made me? You know what I mean? And then the last example, probably a pretty bad example actually, is Kimpembe, because he's actually been out for I think 2 years. But again, if you buy when everyone else is forgetting about him, look, this sale here at like £1 or whatever, and I think he's yet to sort of go up because I think he literally just came off the bench or something. But I assume that if Kimpembe sells in the summer, and you bought one for £1, then he's probably going to sell for £2, £3. Again, not much, but the profit margins, they all add up. So that is going to be the first method to make money in Sorare. Are you looking to become a Sorare manager? If so, I would really appreciate if you use the link down below in the description to sign up, because you'll be helping out a small creator like myself. And also the benefit that you guys get from that is if you buy 5 cards from the auction house or the instant buy market, then you'll receive £50 in-game credits. Now, my second method actually fits hand in hand with my current series that I have on the channel called Almiron's Army, where this is pretty much the method I use the most personally. And yeah, definitely in Almiron's Army you can see loads of examples of this, but I've just got one on screen here for you today. And method 2 is going to be buying and selling in the hype, or buying, I guess, not in the hype, sorry, and selling in the hype, if you like. So a great example of this would be Franco Escobar. Now, you can see before the season started, he was actually touted to be pretty much a really good defender to have in your gallery. And you can see he was selling for roughly 15 to 20 pounds. Let's just say that's on average, right? Now, he did actually get injured, so it sort of fits into method 1. He sort of got injured and was sort of not playing the best at the start of the season, and you can see prices dropped as low as £5 here, £4 for Escobar, £5 if that. And yeah, I mean I think most people knew that was way too cheap for him. So again, let's just say you were on it. You were feeling feeling confident with this one. You bought 3 or 4 Escobars for £5. You could have even got them cheaper, but let's just say £5. And of course, the last 2 game weeks, he is sort of back from injury and back playing well, doing what people expected him to. And you can see already on the price graph, he's started to go up at £10 ish, sort of back to where the start of the season prices were. And if we have a little look now, you can sort of see the lowest one on the market is £11, and that is in such a short period of time. Now, don't get me wrong, Escobar definitely, 90 and 100 is definitely going to spike someone's price, but what I sort of mean, or you again, a great example of this is if you watch the series, pretty much you'll buy them when they score bad and you know that they're going to score good. Then when they do score really good, obviously you've used them, so you get some utility, you get some yield out of them, and then you sell them. And then, so say for example now, if this was me, again, you guys can check back on this video and see if it worked or it would work or not. Is I would assume Escobar might have a bad next game and maybe score. Well, I say bad. Maybe he'll score worse than 90 or 100. Maybe he'll get like 50 or 60. Then his price is going to go down. So right now, if I had an Escobar, I'd sell him for 10 quid, and then if he had a bad game, then I'll buy him back maybe next week for 6 or 7 quid or 8 quid. Maybe you guys can check on the video now, see his price. If he's like 8 quid, then it'd be like, yeah, maybe I could buy him. And then again, when he hits these crazy scores, you get, and then when he pretty much hits the inevitable 90 or 100 again, you sell again and then buy back, that type of thing. So you'll make small profit margins as you go on and still keep the same player. Now, I will say the negative to this is obviously you will lose the XP that you gain on the player for using him, but again, this is top 5 methods to making money, so we're not too bothered about XP. Now, my third method for making money in Sorare is actually easier said than done, to be honest, but what I will say is it is possible and it is doable, and that's why I put it as a money making sort of method for you guys, and that is just being good at Sorare itself. Obviously, if you're good at the platform, then you can build the right collections, build the right lineups, and then yield in that way, actually playing the game. And that's probably the most fun way to make money, to be honest, on this platform. So you can see here an example is my Newcastle boys, and yeah, let's just say I think, I don't know exactly, I'm going to work this out in a different video, but I think I paid about £300 to £400, let's just say £300, I'm not too sure how much we paid for all of them, but you buy them all, or you buy whoever you want at the start of the season, and then you use them in lineups like this one. As you can see, this is actually the best ever score we got for them, so, a bit of an anomaly result, but this is the example I'm using because we managed to yield 300, or you can't actually see, sorry, because my camera, but yeah, there you go, that's a better screen. You can see we got $300 returned for third place, and this is just from playing the game. Obviously, I'm not saying that returned all the money that I made back. Like I said, I will be doing a different video to sort of really dive down into how good this method was, but generally speaking, if you're good at fantasy football and just picking the right players at the right time, then you will be yielding a lot of money back. So therefore, it is a very good method to make money on Sorare. Yes, now boys, we have a fantastic opportunity for those of you guys that do become members on the channel in April. I will be giving away one MLS in-season stack built by yours truly. How you become a member on the channel is click the join button down below. You can see all the exclusive perks to becoming a member alongside being entered into the giveaway this month. Method number 4 is planning ahead. Now, if you are ahead of the competition and you are ahead of the market, there is opportunity in Sorare to actually make quite a bit of money. Now, what I'm going to show you boys is the most recent international break. Now, I think I bought these cards. I pretty much bought a lot of international cards that don't really play too much for their clubs, so obviously they'd be quite low in value, and then selling them just before the game week starts in the international break. So you will be holding on to these cards for a little while, but you can see just through the examples that we go through here, there is opportunity to be made or money to be made in sort of flipping cards for international break, and you can use even some of these cards that I have as an example here for the next international break. All you've got to do is sort of buy them a month in advance or a couple of weeks in advance, and then when the game week is coming round, sell them then. So you can see on the screen here, I picked up an odd disease. I actually picked up a lot of these, but picked this one up for £2.80 and sold him for £3.20. Again, not much money, but you know, 40-30p, we'll take it. The next example would be Ko Itakura. Bought him for £1.73, sold him for £3.27. Again, couple of quid. I actually bought a few of these, so yeah, I don't have every example of every player that I bought, but I bought quite a lot. Again, £2.68, flipped for £3.12. So you can see a couple of pennies here or there. Again, 80p, sold for £1. Another one here, 40p, sold for 70p. And another odd disease bought for £2.80, sold for £3.20. And this wasn't all of the ones I bought. I bought quite a lot, so you have to buy them in a stack. And then obviously if you keep getting 40p, 50p, 40p, eventually it's going to equal a decent amount. I think I managed to make this international break. I think I invested like 20-30 quid and probably made like 7 or 8 quid like profit, which is pretty decent. And again, if you've got more money, then obviously you can do this as sort of a bulk purchase. I will say though, there's two things you've got to worry about. One, obviously if the player doesn't play. Now this was actually a good example, like leaving on screen here, because Odysseus didn't actually play for his country, which is surprising, but most people did think he was going to play. But that's where you've not got to be greedy, because obviously I could have probably sold these cards for maybe more, but I wasn't greedy with it. I just took the profit where I could. This sort of ties in as well with sort of the second example or second method in this video. Don't be greedy with profits, you know, just take them where you can. A great example of this would be in the under 23 Road to Glory, when we actually, there was, I think it was oh, I can't remember the players, but Paxton Aronson, we sold him for a great profit, and literally the next week he was like £3 cheaper. So yeah, sometimes you've just got to take the profit. You know, if there's loads of cards up for like £2.80, just list it for £2.50 just to get that sale. You know what I mean? Get the profit, make the profit. Especially if you bought it for like £1.80, £1.90, just take the money where you can. So yeah, that is method 4, pretty much planning ahead, being ahead of the competition, ahead of the market, and you can make your money that way. So my fifth and final method to be making money on Sorare is to keep as up to date as you can. Now obviously I do appreciate a lot of you boys probably have lives outside of Sorare, so it's quite hard for this one to actually come into tuition, but if you can be on your toes and, you know, buy and sell quickly and flip for profits in instances like, say for example, if your player gets injured and you have him in your gallery and you want to try and sell him quickly before everyone else realizes, again, this is sort of something that you can even do to bots, perhaps like Satonio and things like that. You can try and flip them off quickly, and yeah, stuff pretty much. And also being like the opposite end of it, if you follow pages like this one, you can get updates on injuries. Maybe it start, like, say for example, you could read some of these and be like, okay, we can see Gabriel is out for you know, here he says typically going to look like he's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. Then you could be like, okay, let's buy him in a week, and then obviously sell him when he's back and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So keeping up to date and keeping your knowledge up is probably like the best way to be making money on Sorare for sure. Now, as well, we'll add, we do have like a group chat, you can see just down the side here, and there's like 80 odd people, 80 odd Sorare managers in there, and we're all just keeping each other up to date on like what's happening. Again, I will say, if you boys do want to be included into this group chat, all you have to do is message me on X or Twitter, and pretty much everyone just puts a load of Sorare information in there. Again, you can use this to your advantage. on the market. A great example of that would be a good member or good friend of the channel and a member of the channel would be Michael. He put in there, I think a month or so ago, that one of his mates was actually going to be the starting goalkeeper for Go Ahead Eagles. So, all of the boys went and purchased that goalkeeper, and yeah, he went up a crazy amount of money, and we managed to make a little bit there. So pretty much just knowledge is power. If you know things, especially if you get like the inside information, stuff like that. Also, especially if you talk to people like me who specialize in a certain club and you know how things are going to happen. Like for example, Livramento, I know he's going to play a lot better in a different position, so I tell the boys, think about picking up a Livramento and that sort of thing. So again, I always do preach this: knowledge is power in Sorare, and the more information you can get on this sort of stuff, the better. So there you have it then, boys. There's 5 methods and ways to make money on Sorare. I hope you guys did enjoy this type of video. Again, sort of aimed towards the new managers or people that are trying to make small profit margins in Sorare. With that being said, if you did enjoy the video today, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.